Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Shram Mascarenhas.
Good evening, I'm Niket Karunaratne. We'll start off with the headlines as usual. All arrangements are being made to reopen schools with less than 200 students on the 21st of this month. Sri Lanka's first Test cricket captain Bandula Varnapura passes away. The government decides to import 3.1 million litres of nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer. The initial consignment is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. The health divisions warn that there is a possibility of another lockdown if the people behave irresponsibly.
On to the stories in detail now, starting off with local news. The government says that it is ready to reopen all schools with less than 200 students on the 21st of this month. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that around 600,000 children are scheduled to attend schools on the 21st. Accordingly, 3,000 schools will be reopened. The reopening of schools will be carried out in a stage-by-stage basis. He added that 225,000 principals and teachers have been vaccinated. The most optimum decisions have been given to resolve the salary problems of teachers and principals. The Finance Minister, through the budget, will implement the first stage of the salary increase next year.
දරුවන්ට පාසල් යන්න එපයි කියලා කියන්න කිසි කෙනෙක්ට යුතුයකමක් නැහැ කියනට ඉතාම ගැඹුරෙන් අපි සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ. අවුරුදු 24ක්
Minister Professor G.L. Piri said that the government has taken maximum efforts to resolve the 24-year-old problem of teachers' salaries. Practical solutions have been provided amidst numerous economic difficulties. The government has provided the maximum possible relief. The responsibility of the teachers is to impart knowledge to students with compassion and responsibility.
අකණ්ඩව ඉදිරියට ගෙන යන්නේ කියන ආයාචනය අපි ඉතාමත් නිහතමානීව කරනවා රජයේ දෙමව්පියන්ගේ හා ලක් සමාජයේ අපේක්ෂාව එයයි.
Meanwhile, the Teacher Principal Joint Trade Union Federation says that its members will report to duties on the 25th of this month. They have made these remarks at a media briefing in Colombo today. Secretary of the Ceylon Teachers Union Joseph Stalin said that they will strike on the 21st and 22nd but report to duties on the 25th of this month. Schools have been reconvened under 4 stages. However, the Podu Educational Administrative Services Union says that all arrangements have been made to reopen the schools on the 21st of this month and to carry forward educational activities continuously. Secretary of the Podu Educational Administrative Services Union Buddhika Tanaka said that all arrangements are being made for teaching. Teachers have the freedom to recommence activities. He has also informed parents to send their children to schools without fear. Director of Education Colombo Zone G.N. Silva said at a media briefing today that they are ready to reopen schools in the Colombo district, having less than 200 students on the 21st of this month. Meanwhile, the Sinhala National Joint Collectives had submitted a written complaint via email to the Inspector General of Police today against Joseph Starling and Mahinda Jayasinghe, accusing of the illegal misusing of state properties and engaging anti-government work stoppages. A meeting took place into the present situation and the reopening of schools in the Kurunegala district on the 21st was held at the Kurunegala district secretary's office today. Minister Johnston Fernando and Northwestern Governor Raja Kollur were among those who have attended the meeting. Meanwhile, teachers and parents have participated in a program to clean schools in preparation of recommencement of schools on the 21st.
Sri Lanka's first Test cricket captain Bandula Varnapura, who has added many unforgettable memories into the country's cricket legend, has passed away this morning. The final rites are scheduled to take place at the General Cemetery, Boralla at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Bandula Varnapura was 68 years old at the time of his demise. He died at a private hospital in Colombo this morning after a long illness. Varnapura was born in Rabukkana on the 1st of March 1953. He had delved into the sport of cricket since the days of his education at Nalanda College in Colombo. Bandula Varnapura had been fortunate to become the first captain of the Sri Lankan Test cricket on the 17th of February 1982. He had given leadership to Sri Lanka's first team of Test cricketers against the England team in an encounter commenced on this day at the P. Sarvanamuttu Stadium in Colombo. Varnapura was lucky enough to score the maiden run for Sri Lanka in a Test match, as well as to deliver the first over in such an encounter. Varnapura had captained 4 Test matches for Sri Lanka. He had also represented the country in 12 one-day matches, giving leadership in 8 out of them. A temporary suspension had been imposed on the cricket career of Bandula Varnapura as a result of his involvement in a controversial South African tour in the 1982-83 season. However, he had returned to the cricket field as a commentator by joining hands with the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation and the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Bandula Varnapura had also received the unique opportunity to give a live commentary on the moment Sri Lanka winning the one-day cricket crown in a thrilling final of a Sri Lankan attack captained by Arjuna Ranatunga in the year 1996. Thereafter, he had diverted attention on administration of Sri Lankan cricket. Varnapura had held several positions in Sri Lankan Cricket Institute. He had also functioned as a director of cricket development in the Asian Cricket Council. Varnapura was able to extend significant contribution for the propagation of cricket in Asia.
The Aussies shaking them by the hand. Little Murali Dharadan's arrived. What a year it's been for him. What a moment. Sri Lanka, World Cricket Champions. It is a moment that they have been waiting for years, ever since they got Test.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has extended his condolences over the death of Sri Lanka's first Test cricket captain Bandula Varnapura in his Twitter account. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, in a condolence message, said that he was deeply saddened by the demise of Bandula Varnapura. Sports Minister Namal Rajapaksa, in his official Twitter account message, said that Bandula Varnapura had recorded an unforgettable service for the game of cricket. The minister has also extended his deep condolences over the passing away of the former Test cricket captain. The Sri Lankan cricket team competing against Namibia in T20 match today are taking part in the encounter wearing black armbands as a mark of condolence on the passing away of Bandula Varnapura. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka under-19 cricket team participating in a one-day match against the Bangladesh under-19 team also wore black armbands to express their grief. The remains of Bandula Varnapura lie at his residence in Alakeshwara Road, Kotte.
In other stories, the outgoing Egyptian ambassador to Sri Lanka, Hussein El Sarti, called on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the presidential secretariat this morning. Outgoing Egyptian Ambassador Saharti, who has been newly appointed as a coordinator for Egyptian civil society organizations, said that he will continue to work to strengthen the relations with Sri Lanka. Ambassador Saharti further stressed the need to enhance security ties and develop the tourism industry between the two countries. President Rajapaksa commended Ambassador Saharti for his service rendered to Sri Lanka as the ambassador to Egypt. Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayanath Kolombage and the Counsel of the Egyptian Embassy, Karin Abdulenin, were present.
The health authorities say that it would become necessary to lock down the country once again if the people acted without responsibility. They reiterate that the people should act according to the health guidelines and adhere to travel restrictions. The police have turned back 1,523 persons who have attempted to travel between provinces without valid permissions in the 24 hours that ended at 6 a.m. today. Our correspondent says that large groups of people have arrived in the Anuradhapura sacred town throughout the day today. A total of 467 COVID-19 patients were identified from the country today. Accordingly, the number of active cases in the country has increased up to 25,633. A total of 354 recoveries were reported today, increasing the overall tally to 492,975. The Director General of Health Services has reported today 23 COVID-19 related deaths, which occurred yesterday. 21 out of them were those above the age of 60 years. 19 corona-infected persons have been detected in rapid antigen tests conducted on a group of persons who have attended a wedding in Kuliapitiya. As a result, 25 families have been quarantined. The Sri Lankan High Commissioner's office in Singapore and the Sri Lankan Ministry of Health have taken measures to commence a training program on emergency treatment services, utilizing the technological knowledge of medical services in Singapore. The Nanyang Polytechnic Institute is conducting the program through the assistance of the Thammasek Foundation of Singapore. Another batch of 680,000 doses of Pfizer vaccine was brought to the island today and later on transferred to the National Blood Transfusion Centre in Narayanpeta. So far, 2,075,000 doses of Pfizer vaccine have been brought to the island. Inoculation of the Pfizer vaccine to children of the ages of 18 and 19 in the Colombo district took place at the Maharagama Central College for the third day today. Another vaccination program was also conducted at the Nalanda College today. A total of 27,563,673 vaccine doses have been inoculated under the COVID-19 immunization program thus far. A total of 14,780,138 persons have received the first dose of the vaccine, while 12,783,535 have received both the doses. Thus far, 16,1212 doses have been inoculated yesterday.
Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemantha Herath says that it is important for the public to restrict their travel and act responsibly in order to curb the further spread of the coronavirus. He made these remarks addressing a media briefing held today.
We have already seen news reports, video clips and other media reports related to the people behaving in an irresponsible manner during this past weekend, and probably we will be seeing more and more such reports during the next 2 days of holidays. We know that the country was closed for a period of few months, and therefore we know that people have been at home and they may be confined to their homes and limited spaces for a long period, and therefore we can understand the issues that they are facing. However, we have to keep in our mind that we have reached the current status where just above 500 cases reported and around less than 20 deaths reported at this moment has been achieved basically because of the sacrifice that was made by the majority of the people in Sri Lanka in the past few months. We should not revert back to the earlier situation quickly, and we'll have to act in a responsible manner so that we know that people are in need of going out and taking some kind of break. However, it is not that we are not encouraging it, but on the other hand, if at all, if it is to be done, it has to be done in a responsible manner, avoiding the gathering of large crowds, behaving in a manner so that the disease is not going to spread, and adhering to the health guideline to the letter. And with that kind of behavior only, we can maintain the current status and ensuring that we will be going back to normal as soon as possible. If not, we will be going back to the tragic period that we underwent few months back. So therefore, we urge the public that we need to act in a responsible manner and ensure that the health guidelines are adhered.
The Ministry of Tourism says that $92 million of investments have been approved in the past 9 months. Accordingly, there have been 22 investment projects implemented in the field during the period. Some of the projects included cable cars, floating cafeterias and underground art galleries. He added that agreements of understandings relating to new investments have been signed with 43 government institutions. The minister further says that the tourism industry affected by the COVID pandemic is now gradually returning to normal.
Minister of Housing and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed the Urban Development Authority to expedite constructions in the housing projects. Meanwhile, the UDA says that out of its projects, work in the Kulasevanavatta Green Arcade project in Kottawa has been completed by 60%. This project targets middle-class families without homes. Plans are underway to complete construction by June of next year. The Kulasevanavatta Green Arcade project is comprised of 300 housing units. It has 9-storied buildings with 3 types of houses of the extent of 750, 950 and 1050 square feet. Each housing unit is being priced at 13.1 million to 18.4 million rupees. The Urban Development Authority further says the housing scheme is equipped with the infrastructure facilities, including shops and cafeterias. The building construction is being supervised by the State Engineering Corporation.
Popular singer Yohani De Silva has called on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's house in Mirihana yesterday. Yohani De Silva has received worldwide acclamation as a result of the singing of the song Manike Mage Hite. She was on a tour in India recently, according to an invitation extended by that country. Yohani, during her brief visit, has participated in several concerts and television programs. The President and the First Lady have invited the singer to their home to extend their congratulations. Yohani has sung several songs during her engagement in the President's house.
In other stories, Milan and Costa Rica were among the winners of the Earthshot Prize yesterday, an environmental award created by Britain's Prince William, who has criticized world leaders for an uninspiring response to the climate change crisis.
The Earthshot Prize, created by Britain's Prince William, was presented on Sunday after the royal family criticized global leaders for uninspired climate action. The honors were established to recognize solutions to the planet's biggest environmental problems. Among the winners this year were Milan, Italy, and Costa Rica, each receiving over $1 million. Costa Rican President Carlos Alvarado accepted the award for his country's ecosystem restoration and reforestation programs.
What does the Earthshot mean then for you guys? What does it feel you're gonna do with it, and how does it take you to the next level?
For us, it represents a recognition for many generations of Costa Ricans that have supported this. This is more not only an administration policy, it's a national state policy.
Milan won the Build a Waste-Free World Award for its food waste hubs, which recovers food and provides it to those most in need. British royals have recently made a series of comments on climate issues. William took a swipe last week at billionaires caught in a space tourism race, saying the world's greatest brains should instead focus on environmental problems facing the Earth. Meanwhile, Queen Elizabeth said she was irritated by world leaders who talk about climate change but don't act, adding that it was still unclear who will turn up to the upcoming COP26 Global Climate Summit in Scotland.
The government has decided to import 3.1 million litres of high-quality nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer required for the Maha season. Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Professor Udit K. Jaisinghe, says 100,000 litres of this consignment is scheduled to reach the island tomorrow. Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Professor Udit K. Jaisinghe, said that 800,000 hectares of land will come under cultivation in the Maha season. He said that the liquid nitrogen fertilizer is the fertilizer of the next generation. He added that the necessary phosphorus and potassium requirements will also be utilized to enrich the soil. He added that they were able to purchase the fertilizer requirements for the paddy cultivation for less than 10 million rupees.
General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podu Peramuna parliamentarian Sagara Karyavasam says that the Minister of Agriculture has promised to compensate the farmers if there is any reduction in crop output in the coming season. He made these remarks at a media briefing in Colombo today. General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podu Peramuna parliamentarian Sagara Karyavasam said that the farmers have some doubt about the harvest in the upcoming season. They believe that there is a threat on their livelihood. The General Secretary further said that they are being provocated by certain groups to rise against the government. Sagara Karyavasam also said that the Minister of Agriculture has given a pledge to the farmers. He has promised them of compensation in the event of any decline in harvest as a result of the application of fertilizer. Given to them, that is, and he added that the Minister of Agriculture has taken a huge responsibility on behalf of the farmers. The General Secretary has further stated that the Minister has extended maximum protection to the farmer community.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira has decided to submit to the Cabinet a detailed report on the protection of highly sensitive ecological zones in the country. It has also been decided to declare a high-sensitive marine environmental zone from Mannar to Rameshwaram in India. An evaluation report recently prepared by Professor Sewandi Jaikodi has become instrumental in the conservation of high-sensitive environmental zones. Research has also been conducted on the mangrove system in Sri Lanka. It has also been observed that the migration of many protective marine species, including dolphins, blue whales and turtles, take place via Mannar to Rameshwaram. The report points out the need to declare such protection zones in Trincomalee and in Galle, Matara and Hambantota marine zones. A new bridge would replace the existing bridge erected over Ilukkumari Canal in Manampitiya on the Colombo-Batticaloa main road. State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe has presided over the construction of the bridge at a cost of 28 million rupees.
Ambassador of Czech Republic to Sri Lanka, Milan Hovorka, paid a farewell call on Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pires recently. The meeting was held at the Foreign Ministry premises. Minister Pires underscored the close and cordial relations existing between Sri Lanka and Czech Republic during the meeting. Reciprocating the sentiments of the Foreign Minister, the ambassador conveyed his deep appreciation for the strong support extended by the Sri Lankan government in further consolidating cooperation between the two countries during his tenure as the Czech ambassador. The meeting entailed discussion on the potential for expansion of trade, investment and tourism ties between the countries. Regional and multilateral issues of relevance were also discussed. Both parties agreed on the further expansion of bilateral cooperation in a manner suitable to contemporary requirements. The ambassador expressed his special appreciation for the assistance extended to Czech nationals in Sri Lanka during the COVID-19 pandemic. An agreement on the transfer of sentenced persons was entered into between Sri Lanka and Czech Republic during the visit. The meeting was attended by officials of the Foreign Ministry and Honorary Consul of the Czech Republic in Sri Lanka.
The government has decided to reconstruct the bridge in Halaba, which links Halyala and Uvaparanagama electorates in the Badulla district. This bridge was constructed by the Englishmen in the year 1919 to facilitate horse carriage travelling. Parliamentarian Dilan Pereira was engaged in an inspection tour in the area yesterday. Residents have pointed out that they have been requesting for several years to repair the bridge, but all their requests were in vain. Parliamentarian Dilan Pereira had to face an unexpected incident during the inspection tour.
Kenya has expressed willingness to provide training to Sri Lanka's long-distance runners. Kenyan Minister of Sports Dr. Amina Mohammed has given this assurance when she met Minister Namal Rajapaksa. Kenya is regarded as a country which has produced many champion long-distance runners. Ministers Nama Rajapaksa and Kenyan Sports Minister have discussed extensively on the possibility of further enhancing the talents of Sri Lankan athletes. As a result of the meeting, Kenya has agreed to exchange resources as well as experiences of veteran sports personnel between the two countries. Accordingly, 10 Sri Lankan middle distance and long distance runners are scheduled to leave for Kenya for mid and long-term training by the end of this year or in the beginning of the first quarter of next year.
That's all the news for today. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.